Hello and welcome to, Hello and welcome to day 9 of animating every day for 30 days. Yesterday I tried to attempt animating the scene, but it did not turn out nearly as good as I was wanting it to, so I'm going to dedicate this day to reanimating it and making it exactly, well not exactly, but close enough to how I had imagined it in my head. So that's pretty much it. I already have everything set up, so that makes it a lot easier for me to animate. And so yeah, I'm gonna get animating on this. Let's get into it. Okay, so apparently my computer did not record the entire 3.5 hours of me animating this thing. So you get to look at my lovely phone footage. But anyways, right here I'm just like taking a test animation of the camera movement to see if the camera movement itself looks good or if it needs to be worked on. And here's the results of that. Dude, take a look at this. It looked great, don't get me wrong, but look at the clone trooper. The clone trooper never moved, but look at him. Look how he's still in the frame and he's like all over the place. That's what I was seeing during the run cycle. So the camera movement by itself looks great, but when you pair it with the guy running at a constant speed, it looks janky. And so, realizing how tedious it would be to have a camera swerving with the clone running, I decided to be very cautious with this animation, and I made it a point to move the camera as consistently as possible and to move it almost like one stud per frame, while also gently swerving around to reveal the turret. And then I modified the run cycle of the clone trooper to ensure that he is also moving his head one stud every single frame, in the hopes that when paired together it looks very good and not harsh like that last animation. And then here I'm having the guy jump up on the turret and swerve around as the turret is spinning, and he does like a full 360 and then lines up the turret and then starts shooting the blaster bolts. And of course with the blaster bolts I just used a red flashlight as I had the blaster shooting out of the cannon, and it turned out pretty nice. Just as a quick little BTS here on my more than 3-hour recording, you can see his arm is completely separated from the scene, from his torso. Yeah, but it looks like this on screen, so that looks really cool. So his arm's just kind of back there. The angle just works, fellas. The angle just works. And then after that, I just had the clone trooper shoot the turret a couple more times, and with the third and last blaster bolt, I had the camera whip around to track it as it faded to black. And after animating for like 3+ hours, here is the final animation. Honestly, I'm pretty happy overall with this animation. At least I like the concept of it. I do think the run and the camera swerve was just a little bit janky. I do like the swerve that the clone took. I guess this is Captain Wolf or something. My brother painted it. But yeah, I like the swerve. It was really nice. The impact of the blaster bolts from the turret was really, really nice. And I like how the camera just whips around to track that last blaster bolt as it fades to black. It was a really nice touch. Overall, I would give this animation about a 7.5 out of 10. I say 7.5 and not higher, mainly because it just feels jittery to me. It just feels choppy, and it has like that weird light flicker as the guy's running, due to the fact that there was the lens flare, and the webcam does weird things with lens flare because it just makes the scene darker when there's no lens flare and all of that. So that's why it was flickering there. But yeah, overall, if the run cycle wasn't so jittery and there was no light flicker, I would give this animation a solid 9 out of 10. Alright, so let me actually just break down frame by frame this animation to just show like what I really liked about it, what I didn't like, what I think went wrong, and all that good stuff. So yeah, the run cycle was pretty smooth. I liked how his head pretty much stayed in the same place the whole way through. You'll notice a nice little head bob going on here, where he moves back again, and then lunges forward, moves back again, and then lunges forward, moves back again, and then lunges forward. And it's like this consistent head bob that helps it to really stay consistent with itself. Also, I made the arm movement flowy because it eased out here, eased back in,
and then big movement, eased out. And I made those ease out and ease in frames kind of pretty noticeable and bigger than usual to simulate that like flowy run. And of course the run cycle, I just did leg out, in between, leg back, and then leg up, in between, leg back. And I just kept it like that. So it's quick enough, but it also gives me enough room to do that ease in and ease out with the arm movement. And yeah, I think it's a pretty solid run cycle, especially for like 12 FPS. I really liked it. With the camera movement, I think it was mainly pretty good. I think it pushed in too much here. And then this looked fine. This looked pretty good. And then here it like pushes in and it tries to pull out. And I think that created a little bit of a weird image there in sequence. But overall, I think it was okay. Okay, now when the clone jumps on the turret, I really like this because he just goes for it. And with the camera movement, it still makes it so he's moving forward every frame, which I really liked that combination there. And he just like hops up on it. Legs forward, you know, arm grabbing onto it, and then it immediately swerves around as the camera starts to slow down. His head stays in the central location there, as you can see. It stays pointed towards the middle of the turret, and his legs just swing around. I really like that. And you'll notice here, like, his legs were kind of forward, and then they swing back to kind of show that, like, he's being flung around. And then I really like this part here. I'm geeking out. Okay, bear with me. I really like this part here where he like flings up and then comes back down. And then, you know, it's like a few frames of him just like, you know, getting his bearings. And then he flings his legs up. And then he comes up like that. Flings his blaster arm, I'll call it his blaster arm up. And like just settles like that. The camera movement could have been a lot better here, but I think it does the job. And then here, the blaster bolt. I did some editing with the frames, so the camera moves to the left where it should have moved to the right. But I think it kind of worked, actually. You know, camera follows the blaster bolt, and then boom, comes back. Kind of gentle, and then boom, big movement. Gentle, gentle, gentle. And then with the last one, boom, 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 and then I like cropped in post to really just get that black image. And then with all of that paired together, you get something like this. I think that was pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it overall. And yeah, so with that said, I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching. God bless you, and I will see you tomorrow.